So here is my latest antique shop hunting good find. My husband was interested in one of these Hummel figure clocks. I've seen them on Shop Goodwill. They always go for over $100. This one we got the guy down to $35. Definitely needs some work. I'm missing one bird, but I think I might be able to carve a little bird. The rest of it's all really in good shape. The Hummel figures are all in good shape. The roof and everything. The rest of the carving, it had no weights. It had no pendulum. One chain was off, the music box chain. Here's the little bird. And there was no back door. So, I don't know why people take the back doors off and leave them. So, I have got my back door supplies out of my goodies here. I've got a gong I can use. This is the thickness of wood that I need. This piece is actually slightly thicker than I need, but I think I can plane it down that little tiny bit and put a gong on there and have a back door. And I don't have the parts I need for the pendulum. I've got some parts, but I'll probably be looking for a shield pendulum to go with this. Update on this clock. It's 3:14 and it's keeping excellent time. Yay! It's time to take it back upstairs because I only like to work on one at a time. So I have not tripped this at all. I put the weights on. You can hear it ticking. Here is, let me put some light on this side. That's the side everybody's interested in. It's a regular. It says 25-1/R, which is either 1983 or 2003. I don't know when Danbury Mint came out with these Hummel clocks. There's the music box. Plays 2 tunes. Very nice metal gear on here. I don't have to worry about it breaking. And all my little turn guys are brass in there, and this is a metal plate, so pretty well made. I'm happy about that. And the chains are interesting. They're that stainless steel looking stuff like they did during the war. So I don't know what's up with that, but that's what I got. So I have not tried it at all. There's a good bit of rust on my lift levers and different things. There's actually a, well, I got it stuck. I better get that out of there. That's my shut off lever. And I've got it pinned in my holder right here, so let me fix that, and then I'm going to trip the front and see what it'll do. But it's good that I just put it in here and put a weight on it, and it's trying to tick, right? That's good news. On the back of each one of the little Hummel figures, it has M.J. Hummel, Goebel, G-O-E-B-E-L, G-O-E-B-E-L, little guy with an umbrella, and then a little girl and boy waving handkerchiefs. So let's see what happens. So much dust on here and dirt. There's a ton. It's so filthy. But it will clean up very nicely. All right. So runs like it should, shuts off like it should. My little bird doesn't lift his tail up when it goes off, but yeah, I'm going to let this thing run for a while. I got to start my work week tomorrow. I can't get into it too soon, so I think tonight I will just take a big paintbrush and knock the dust off and of the cracks, because there's a bunch of it, and put the feed and wax on the case and just kind of clean the case up tonight, because the movement is definitely going to have to come out there and get clean. It's very, very dirty. But yeah, this was an exciting find. They were asking $50. They let us have it for $35, which I think is reasonable. By the time I put a new back door and pendulum on there, I'm going to spend a little bit of money, but not like if I was trying to buy replacement pieces myself. So, good part about having spare clock parts around, you can find stuff that works. So, let's see what... Ooh, what a dust cloud. What it looks like when it's going off. I just tripped it, so I'm going to have to wait a minute. Alright. Bear with me for a second while I turn the hands. That should give you a decent view. So that's the good part, everything's adjusted right. The little rubber sleeve that's on this is shutting this off when it's supposed to. So, yep, cleanup time. Not bad at all. Putting the chain back on and making it work. This is kind of gorked up. I'm amazed it's ticking. The U wire, the V wire is rocking back and forth. It's pinched together like it fell, or like it was jammed up in there. It was kind of jammed in the box when I got it, so it probably bent that, but still trying to run even bent up. It's always a good sign when it wants to run. So, where'd my brush go? I've got two paint brushes. One is just plain, nice soft synthetic brush. The other one I use to put the feeding wax on, so it's a little beat up where I've scrunched it in the corners and stuff, but that's okay. I just knocked the dust off. You may see it flying in the light. Get that off before I put the wax on. You need something that's going to get down in all those little grooves. A lot of times, this is what I use to dust my cuckoos with that are hanging on the wall, just to be able to get in all the little carvings, because it's hard to dust them. Alright, he's looking better. It's pretty cool. This is the first one I've got with a carved roof like this. I've got one or two that have like the tiger stripey stuff on the roof. Need a mask. Whew. My platform's pretty dusty. The balcony, but I'll get all down in there when I get the stuff out of the inside. I'll be able to get down in there better. The little bird looks like it used to have a, this one's got like a little nail through it. I'll show you. I don't know if I'll try to replace it or not. I've never really carved anything. We'll see. But anyway, right in the very center of the wings, there's a little nail. That may be why sometimes one of the wings breaks off. This one's a little bit loose too. Maybe I can take it off to see what I need to carve, right? Can't be that hard, right? Yeah.
What are you laughing at?
My video. Alright, I got enough of the dust knocked off. We're going to put a little feeding wax on there. Make it look better. Yeah, it's going to come up nice. Very dry wood. Dust really dries wood out. I'll let it soak in good, and then I'll get it some more if it needs it. If not, I'll rub it with a soft cloth and kind of polish up the beeswax. Let the orange oil soak in for a little while, and then shine up the beeswax. And it should come out really nice. Already looking good compared to the front there. So I'm going to go on around the clock. I've done a little bit with it. This is the back door that I'm making. When I went to drill the hole out of the middle, it split the whole thing, so I glued it back and stuck it in here to kind of hold it together. It's been interesting making a back door. I've got the little pieces marked for my gong assembly to go on there. I've still got to plane it a little bit thinner. I've marked a little line on there how much more I need to take off to make it seat right, but I got the little bottom edge cut, which was not easy. And I made a Cuckoo lift wire. Let me see if I can get this a little bit lower so you can see it. I don't know if I had it at a good angle or not, but nope, because you couldn't see up in there. But anyway, there's a little Cuckoo lift wire on the side of the bellow going up, and I put it on the side of the bellow, and it is managing to miss the people that are spinning around. Hang on. So it does let the little people turn. It's kind of hard to get a wire going in that angle and lift the tail and let the little guys go under it and spin. So when I take this apart, I may move that lift wire to the front just to get it off the tail more. Like it almost comes off the end of the tail, and I've got it adjusted as best I can to miss the people and lift his tail. So I think when I take the bellows out, I'll move that wire to the front of the bellows, and that'll make it sit further back on his tail and not have to worry about it coming off the end and getting stuck on top of the bird. But anyway, I think I'm finally ready to take this apart. I did get a pendulum. I ordered one in the mail. I debated on making one. I had the stuff to make it, but I didn't feel like carving it. And it is humongous. You see how big that is. And just know that when you order from some companies, they only have one measurement on there, and that is the width apparently, not the length. So know if there's only one measurement, it's how wide this top part's going to be. But it works. I've just got it way up at the top because it's too big, but anyway, it still has worked. So my first mission, take these bellows out. They do have a screw and a little tack nail. This little lift wire really does not want to leave the case. It is grabbing everything. So there's the lift wire I put in. I had to kind of bend it that way and up, and then put a little hook on it to not come off of the end of his tail. And I put a little hinge for the door across it so it wouldn't go back and forth. And I even put super glue, and it's still kind of going back and forth. So that's why I think I'm going to go in the end. What you normally do when you're replacing one of these is you flatten the end and stick it in. That way it can't swing like this. I did not flatten the end. I just stuck the round wire in, and that's why it's wanting to move. So I'm going to redo that little thing right there. But the bellows are in good shape. With this one being sideways, the nail is here and the little tack is there, so it's harder to get it off way down there. And this one's pretty rusty, but it should clean up pretty nicely. Alright, so those are out of the way. Let's take the music box out of the way. Let me take a quick picture. So I took some pictures of how these little levers were set up, the spacing between them, before I take this out. I did adjust this little thing because it wasn't stopping the fan from turning. When the strike was going off, the music would start playing. So this is the little arm that comes off of here that comes down to block your fan while the cuckoo's going off, and then it goes out of the way and lets the fan spin for the music to play at the end. And then the next thing to tackle is this nighttime shutoff lever. This is probably the newest clock I worked on with this nighttime shutoff lever. Most of mine don't have one. You know, a stink bug. That's why it's good to take your clocks apart every so often and clean them, huh? I got friends visiting. But the music box looks to be in really good shape. It plays nicely, and what my favorite part is that wheel is metal. I love that. It plays the usual too, Edelweiss and Happy Wanderer. Looks like another little friend in there. So it's been in storage somewhere because that's when the little cocoons and things move in. Okay, so this nighttime shutoff lever, I've decided I am not going to try to unbend The end of it's got this big loop on it. I'm not going to unbend that and slip it out of the case, and I don't want to try to unbend this inside there. It's an awkward angle. So I'm just going to take this nut off and take this whole shut off lever off and leave it in the case. And you have to be careful because there should be a washer behind it, and there is. And it's a weird little washer. It's wavy. It's not like you can just put a new one of some kind. If yours is missing that one, you could, wow, even that's oily, they oiled that. You could try a domed washer and bend in a couple little crinks in it here and there. Okay, so I've taken the ends off of these chains. And of course the last tooth gets stuck in the movement. That's the problem with having it lying down. It wants to hang up on things. That one slipped out. That's good. The little people are just spinning away, aren't they? And my cuckoo door is not shut and they're hitting on it. But the chain is coming out. It seems way longer than the other ones. So I will check that out. And it is not way longer than the other ones. So okay, so let's take, oh good, the last one came out. Let's take a Phillips head screwdriver to these little guys. And I think everything, nope, I didn't disconnect the bird. Okay, before I loosen the movement up, I gotta disconnect my bird wire. I guess I left a little note to myself to go back to the front because I didn't take the hands off, I didn't do the bird wire. I've had this thing on a stand playing with different things and doing different things for a couple of weeks, so alright. Hand nut and a square hand hold washered hand. Now we can take the screws out. One thing I see that I like is an E-clip and not those hateful things on the Schmeckenbecker regulas. It looks like a regular E-clip right there. And This one won't have an E clip because it's got the lift lever, activation lever for the music box on it, so it's got a little screw bushing place. Oh, lovely. I dropped the screw in the movement. Alright, so this is already a little bit bent up and jacked up right there, so I'm not as concerned about that because I know I'm going to have to straighten it. It's been pushed in enough to go up to there at some point. Alright, let's see if I can get that. There's the screw, perfect. So here's my little Hummel figures. I think they're pretty cool. They have MJ Hummel and Goebel, the company, I guess, or the place, I don't know, on the back of each one. And they're in good shape. They're not broken. I think they're porcelain little guys or some kind of composite little guys. But yeah, they're pretty cool. The paint's held up good, which makes me think they're little porcelain figures. I don't know, painted before they were fired, or. But these guys have little handkerchiefs in their hands. They're waving. They have little white handkerchiefs with polka dots on them. And this little guy has got his hat on and his umbrella. The bird is plain. No blue on it or anything. But it does have the moving mouth. The the dancer's platform is riveted on, so it won't be coming off. I'll have to clean it as best I can, but somebody worked on it, less than thumbprint. And somebody left a lot of oil on here. Let me get something to set this on. A little bent up. I don't think it's going to fit through the foot. Alright, we're going to take this off.
What'd you say?
I'm recording. I'm recording. This has no little screw to take it off. It's one of those. I'm going to try some heat to see if I can get that off of there. It doesn't want to come off. So this is the last thing to come off. Well, there is a little clip inside there for that lever. Okay, let's take the little bird off. Phillips head. It's pretty clean. What's interesting is here's your time and strike wheels, and then you've got 2 more wheels down here for the platform to turn. And this one's got little plastic things on it. I don't know what they're for. They don't touch anything, but maybe it'd make the wheel stronger so it won't crack. This one's metal, this one's plastic. And this may come off. I see a little tiny screw up in there. This is metal, so I don't have to worry about it breaking off when I take this little E-clip off. So if I take that off, this should lift off. I wish they were all straight slot, so you didn't have to constantly switch back and forth. Alright, so now I can clean these little guys up pretty good. Trying to make this turn so I can get to that E-clip that's under that. That is a very thin plastic. Maybe they've changed the material. I don't know. Seems very brittle plastic, like it would split pretty easily. This has a clip here and the spring to keep it pushed toward the back of the movement. The shut-off lever pushes it forward, makes it not hit on the little hurricane symbol, and that's how it doesn't go off at night. But when it is released, it goes back, this lever hits on the tab, and then the thing is activated when this turns. Alright, that one went flying. That's okay. I'm going to take that off first because it won't let me lift high enough to get that one out. I have pretty good luck with my tiniest little screwdriver being able to fit in these little notches and just sliding it out some, and it doesn't go flying everywhere. Before I would use pliers and push on this end and the post, and when it would release it would take off, but I have a little better control with the screwdriver. Alright, and the little spring that goes on that. See, there's a little notch on this post for one E-clip. So your spring, your E-clip, and then the clip on the outside of the plate. And my Pac-Man. Let me get my screwdrivers. This is my method of choice for taking these off. It puts the pressure just right, doesn't bend anything. They're pretty long screwdrivers. I don't know how long, let's see. If you wanted to make a set of these, 9, 10-inch screwdrivers, and then the ends are just bent over. So if you heat it, you should be able to pound it over, make some little curves. One is a lot finer than the other one. If this was real close to the plate, I could get, like if I wanted to take this off, I could get this up under that enough to get it started, and then get the other one and put equal pressure on each side, and it lifts straight up off of there. But it works good for these little guys because I can get to the center of the post and just put pressure on each side, and it pops right off. Okay, that's everything from the front. And I have to decide, am I going to try to heat this? I think I will try to heat this and see what happens. I got a little torch outside. I'm going to put a little heat to this brass part and see if I can use these to pop it up off of there like I just did the other piece. Alright, let's see if that'll do the trick. Be better if you had something smaller, a smaller torch. Still not wanting to lift off. And I really don't want to melt all my plastic parts trying to get it off, so I guess it's not coming off. Alright, let's open this up. That one's loose because that's the one I had off. Another little spacer, I forgot about that. That's usually under that washer. Then the nighttime shut off, then the nut. There's so much oil on it, I didn't even notice it was just kind of stuck to everything. So with that not coming off, this wheel won't come off. This wheel is important. When you put it back together, you need this going side to side behind that lever so that it can raise up and trip your Cuckoo with this little guy. If you have it like so, a little bit off, it can't raise up enough to make your bird activate. Other than dirty, it's not bad. Very little rust. Pivots seem to be in good shape. I don't think the clock was used a whole lot. Alright, there'll be a clip for that one. So there's my escapement wheel. Where's the Verge pallets? Where'd I put them? I put them in the other one. They don't have wear on them at all. Little plastic #1 on it. A little more rust on this side. Pivots are still good. No grooves in them. This will clean up well. A little bit of oil. Working good. Doesn't let it turn backwards. And we can check the other one too. If I can get hold of it underneath there. I don't know if I can. Doing well. What's interesting about this one is one click at a time goes down and locks. This one is not locked on a tooth right now, and that one is. And then you can bring it forward. If I can hold it. This one stays on top of the tooth, and that one is between the tooth to keep it from going backwards. Now that one is between the teeth on there, and this one is on top. So that's strange. Double check this one. It may be the same way. But the little pieces under that arm, no, there it is over here. So it's on top of the tooth, it's between the teeth. It's the same way. One of these or the other acts as the click to keep it from going backwards. Okay. Alrighty, and then E-clip for that. These guys, I see no little screw to hold that. It's probably pressure fitted also. So it's going to stay on. That should come out. The click for the music side. There's a number 3 on this one, this plastic wheel, in case you need a replacement. This one is plastic and I don't see any numbers on it. I don't usually take this off. It doesn't really need to come off. And so I will just take that. So all this will go in the ultrasound, and I will clean out all the pivot holes and all of the holes for any kind of lever that goes onto a post. Clean out inside there real good with wood. And meet you back when they're clean in just a minute. This is one part that won't go in the ultrasound, of course. The bottom looks good. It's a steel plate, a little bit dirty because I can rub off the oil that's on it. But the top is grungy looking. I thought it was rust, but I rubbed my finger over it and it's like kitchen grease, kitchen dirt, you know, when you have something in the kitchen and you cook and you get little bits of grease flying through the air and then the dust sticks to it. So this should clean up pretty well with soap and water. I will take these little guys off of their little parts here and clean this real good with soap and water, and probably these guys with soap and water too. I don't know if I'll even take them off. We'll see. I may just soap and water everything and dry it good. So if you do want to take your Hummel figures off to clean them, they slide off. Every one of them has slid off except the one I'm trying to show you on camera. These 3 just slid right off of there, no problem. There it comes. And then there's a little rubber washer that is stuck to the bottoms of some of them. So there's the people, and then there's little E-clips on each one of these so you can take them out and get the grease and junk out from under them. That way you can oil in there a little bit, put some clean stuff after you get them clean. Alright, get all this in the ultrasound. Got 2 trays. I have not tackled the music box yet. We will clean it up separately.